So it is volume 3. Yeah, end of week 2 and prep is done. There is no changes as of today or yesterday. We did, however, make changes on Wednesday halfway through the week because there was no scale weight drop at all from when I started. I was on my period though, as of this week, still technically on. I should be off by Wednesday though. I had from Wednesday to Saturday just there, I had a cut out there. From Wednesday to Saturday there, after the 2 food drops, one last Saturday, and then the Wednesday I had a 3 pound weight drop, which was nice. Finally. I'm definitely a lot tighter midsection and hammies or glutes, which is nice. Quads are always going to be a pain, I think, for me, and tightening those up, but I have stopped injecting here, stopped injecting insulin to kind of help with that and help with the inflammation on them. As usual, I am going to then post my changes from starting and this week. I just had to come back there just due to my blood sugars being low. So this is the kind of topic I wanted to talk about on this episode, just because I've had some difficulties with that this week, or today as well actually. I'm type 1 diabetic and inject insulin. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that this week, the kind of difficulties of that or managing that, which is kind of hard. Controlling my blood sugars, knowing how much insulin to take every day, and kind of that changes a lot as to how much insulin I will take compared to how much carbs I have, which always changes weekly. Obviously with prep and dieting, my carb amount is always a changing factor, and then the more I diet down, less carbs I have, the more my insulin resistance is going to change, because I'll be having less insulin and therefore becoming more insulin sensitive. So for the 20 grams of carbs that I would have before, the amount of insulin that I'd need for that is now changing. So I'll need potentially less insulin for that amount of carbs that I would have needed beforehand. The kind of aim there is not to go low and then have to eat carbs that weren't on plan. Obviously, with being diabetic and just trying to stick to the carb plan and how much has been put in at those set times and meal times, etc., can kind of go awry, I think that's the right word, which it has done this week, and it's just kind of about managing that and making sure I'm still in a deficit. Communicating with my coach is definitely up there when I do go low or I do go high, and looking at insulin with him and how to manage that and change that on a kind of weekly basis, because how much I need will change depending on how many carbs I'm having, how much cardio I'm doing, what anabolics what anabolics are in place as well, because they can vastly change how sensitive you are to insulin or needed as well, like other things like growth hormone does as well, fasted cardio, all these kind of things come into play, and then I have to try and figure out from there with my coach how much insulin to have so that I don't go lower, I don't go high, and kind of trying to keep that as good as possible. Luckily, I have this wee guy that shows me 8 hours worth of data at a time, so it does make it a lot easier to figure out those patterns. I do just need to kind of keep on top of it and constantly checking my blood glucose. And then when I do have times where I will just go low, just there, I've gone low. Luckily, I have meals that I'm kind of due or needed that have carbs in them. So it's not really going off plan. However, that's not always going to be the case. And sometimes I am going to have days where I am just going to have carbs to fix my low blood sugars. I'm sure this doesn't make sense to everyone. But yeah, I've got to kind of take that on the chin, and then we change plan and go from there, dependent on how that's going. Before, we have put in place where pre-workout meal I had more fats to slow down the process of me breaking down those carbs and keeping me up longer. But yeah, it's definitely a balancing act with challenges, and it's just something that me and my coach are going to need to keep on top of and keep communicating about a lot, and just see how we go from there. It's definitely a big challenge in place. It makes prep a lot harder, but I have confidence in my coach, and our communication is very much there and good, so I think that although it makes prep harder, we will get there. If I kind of get more challenges with that or things that are harder, then I will speak about it in this. I might do a separate kind of vlog on the whole diabetic thing, if anyone wants it, because there is such a lack of information out there with bodybuilding and being diabetic. Or bodybuilding, being diabetic, being a female, in all 3 of those aspects. So I'm gonna report on my findings on it. If there's any tips that I find that I could give to any other diabetics in bodybuilding, I will express them on this. Haven't really came to terms yet with that or find any, apart from fats kind of being positioned around pre-workout meal, and checking your blood sugars all the time, constantly making adjustments. As per usual, hold to see the differences. Definitely tighter, definitely some changes there. Changed positions, but there's some changes in my abdominal area. That was a big word. And also my glutes and hammies more so. I didn't expect big changes in 2 weeks. I don't think anyone would. But it's exciting. We've got 13 weeks to go. There's not really been struggles with diets, etc., as I've mentioned, apart from kind of the changes in my insulin sensitivity and managing that, trying not to go low, trying not to go high, and figuring all that out, and I've not got that right every time, and I have gone low or I have gone high, but we've just got to manage that.